All right, guys, welcome back to another video here. I am Jeff Newman, joined by my one-year-old daughter, Camden, or Cammy. And this week we are going to go over 3 strategies to help you build more muscle. Now, this is super important because a lot of people get caught in the trap of not really ending up getting stronger after a certain point. Maybe right when you get started working out, you might start to get stronger, but then you hit a point where you're not really getting stronger, and these 3 things here will help you out. Now, why is this important? Well, number 1, we all want to be strong. We're not talking about bodybuilder, huge, strong, or anything like that, but I'm just talking about being strong enough to do normal day-to-day life functions, like pick up kids, pick them up off the ground, put them back down on the ground, carrying groceries, moving things around. Also, being stronger builds certain muscles, keeps the range of motion intact as well. So you end up having less injuries. As soon as you stop doing that strength training, as soon as certain muscles get weaker or your range of motion lacks, then those injuries start kicking in. But if you keep doing strength training, it'll help keep those away, okay? So let's get into it. If I can put her down for a sec here. Number 1 is to do some sort of progressive overload week after week, or at least cycle after cycle. Could be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks at a time. Now, what does that mean? It means you are progressing forward on your strength exercises. Now, this is huge because a lot of people, I'm a gym owner, I'm an online coach, a lot of people I see and I talk to, they get caught in the trap of doing these workouts where they're using the same weights over and over and over again. Are stuck at using 10-pound dumbbells for all their exercises. Sets of 10 overhead press with 10-pound dumbbells. Sets of 10 with their 10-pound weights doing rows or squats with them. And that's cool. That's totally fine if those are the only weights you have. But you need to be able to progress forward by either going heavier, or by either doing more reps, or by just increasing the intensity. Maybe it's the speed, or maybe it's slowing it down with a tempo, or something to do something different to progress forward and get you stronger. If you're always using the same weights, you're going to be very limited on how much you can actually progress. Okay, so progressive overload is one way, and it doesn't have to be week after week. It can be 3 weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time, or something like that. Okay, so that's number 1. Make sure your program has some sort of progressive overload, or that you are trying to progress forward by using heavier weights or increasing the intensity or increasing the number of reps that you're doing. Number 2, my favorite topic, protein. Getting enough protein to support your workouts. Now, there is study after study that kind of shows around that 0.6 or 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight is optimal, or getting the best benefits from high protein. Somewhere around there, but it depends person to person. It could be lower for you, it could be higher for you. It just depends on your needs and how much you can tolerate and things like that. Give me 1 second. Baby on loose, want to make sure she doesn't run away. But why is this important? Well, protein gives you those building blocks to help you build your muscle. If you're not getting enough protein, then I'm not saying you can't build any muscle, but it's going to be very limited with the amount of muscle that you're going to build, and which means you're not going to get the full benefit of your workouts. You're not giving your body those building blocks. You're giving it the tools, but you're not able to build anything because you don't have the materials. Does that make sense? Yeah. So make sure to get your protein in every single day, 0.6 grams per pound of body weight, or somewhere around there. It might be a little bit less, might be a little bit more based on you. If you go back to the last video, I talked about how to get protein in a convenient way. So be sure to go back and check that video out. And finally, number 3 is to do the right exercises. Compound lifts are great for this. Things like squats or deadlifts, where you're picking something up off the ground, or an overhead press, or a bench press, or a row. Making sure you're doing all of these movements are important for building muscle. Number 1, because they work more muscles. Compound movements work more muscles than something like an isolation exercise, like a bicep curl or just a tricep kickback. Number 2, they're more functional. Deadlifts, picking stuff off the ground, squatting, down. You're also getting full range of motion in your joints, which is going to help them stay healthy, help you keep that strength, and help keep you less injured as well. So compound movements are great. So make sure you're including the main compound movements in your workouts. Squats, deadlifts, rows, presses. You can even throw a lunge in there as well, and there's so many different variations. Now, I'm not saying that isolated exercises like a curl or whatever it is aren't effective because they are. You can isolate a certain muscle group, especially if it's lacking, but your main workouts or your main exercises should be based off of compound lifts. They're going to burn more calories, they're going to build more muscle, and they are much more functional. All right? So that was my 3 for today. Again, number 1, some sort of progressive overload. Number 2, get your protein. And number 3, make sure to include all the compound lifts. If you can do that on a consistent basis over and over again, you are going to get stronger. Okay? Let's see, do I have any life updates this week? I really don't. It's kind of weird doing these back-to-back weeks. This is the first time I've done a video like this in back-to-back weeks, so nothing really to update you on, but I promise next video I will have a better life update. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let me know. Drop a comment if you like this. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in there. I'd be happy to answer them. And until next time, get your workouts in, get your protein in, and I'll see you for the next video.